he went to court. Just based on some information that he had, right? And then this was the outcome, just based on this level of what he knows. Like anybody, like a 20-year-old could have this information and get off those craziness that they're getting caught up in. That's given them, right, this hold on them for their life, where they can't do anything. They can't work, they can't drive, they can't do that. Where it was, you know what I mean? Like, I got beat up by the police. Like, not me personally, but this is what they're saying. Like, how come I'm the one that's getting beat up, but the guys who beat me up, they're still working. They're still doing whatever it is that they're doing, right? And I'm the one that is hindered, right? So, it's designed that way, but this is just an average person like yourself. Like average person like yourself. That's just out there in society, just living, right? And knowing that there's something that's going on that is allowing me to not know the game that's being played, that allows them to do the things that they do to me, that seems like I can't get out of, and I'm trapped, and I can't deal with this and get the gun and shoot yourself in the head.
My God.
Right?
Mom, help me.
Well, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Is a legal maxim that is well propagated throughout the public. Most likely everyone's heard of it. If you've watched any bit of TV, Law and Order, you've probably heard of that as well. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So, since it's not an excuse, we have an obligation to really know and understand the law legitimately. I don't mean stand under. I mean to know and act in accord with the higher principles of what law is. I come before you guys today. My name is Justin. Right? I recognize that first and foremost, I'm not a name, but I use a name. Right? I just want to qualify that for sure. And I'm a brother as well, as we all are. You know, brothers and sisters all together. I recognize that one of the greatest challenges that we all face collectively today is division. Right? And what we're striving for on all levels, for different spiritual areas, is unity, all coming together. And we're living in a fascinating time, this being in 2011, going to 2012, is that there's so many different areas and avenues that are coming together. Right? We the people, regardless of what color you think you are, or what color you strive to be, or what you name yourself, these labels that you give yourself, we're all coming together. And I just want to say thank you for having me over here. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And really, everything to do with the Moors, I'm humbled by, because this information is new to me. So I'm humbled, and I have a lot of respect for everything that's being presented here. So we go to Wednesday. Wednesday is the day that unfolded, was a trial date for what's called the right to travel. Okay, so if I can have the marker for a second.
No, you're good. Thanks, sir.
So I have a trial before me, and it has to do with this thing called the common law right to travel. Okay? And so free people have the right to travel on the earth. We have this beautiful earth here for us. And that's my picture of the earth. Pretty plain. But you have the right to travel from one point to the other. we have this right to travel by virtue of being born onto this planet. This isn't something that any government has given you or any other person allows for you to have. It's a natural right, it's inherent to be able to freely move across the planet. The only limitation that there can be placed upon this freedom of travel is a natural law that you harm no one. So you have the right to travel so long as you are not causing any harm, so that you may exercise your rights and use your property in such a way that you are not violating anybody else's rights or causing them to any injury. Okay? So they can't use their property. So it's a very, very simple principle, but it's become convoluted, so to speak, or confused with all these different colors. Okay? And right now, we're of the, I don't mean we, but general public, which according to case law is this. This is what public means in case law. It is defined as so whenever you look, perceive, or hear public in this de facto ordinance, in the de facto mandate that they have the only purpose of every statute and every law that's passed in the de facto has to do with protecting the public. That's it. Every law, every statute that is passed has to adhere to this golden principle. And every statute that is passed through Parliament is played upon a principle. And a principle can be found as in a legal maxim. Right? So the public, I'll bring it back to this, is a vast majority of the ignorant, the unthinking, and the credulous. That's from case law. And I can pull up the case if you guys do want to research that. And so ignorant, people who do not comprehend. Unthinking, people who have no ambition to question. They don't even want to ask one question, let alone 101. And then they're credulous. So credulous, a very interesting word. And that is when you believe too easily.
Yeah.
So you believe too easily. You're not even, you don't even want to question. You're just saying, oh, okay, driver's license, I gotta get it. Sure. So that is what the public means. And so the vast public has been duped, so to speak, a long time ago, into asking permission from the state from the state. And this permission from the state is defined, Black's Law Dictionary, as a license. So, the statute is designed in such a way that this whole thing about driving and using your car to move across the public roads is defined as a privilege. Okay?
Yeah.
And a privilege does require permission. Right?
For sure.
Right? Afforded to those who are subservient, as the public. They are, if we look at a hierarchy, okay, I'm gonna erase something again here. Just gonna erase this. We have a hierarchy of supremacy here.
It's goldfish.
supreme, also known as, some people may say God, some people may say creator. That's right at the top. God created man. And created government created. Government creates fictions. So, these fictions are members of the public. They are legal entities. These are persons that are created through registration. So, this case that I have before me, I started my journey, just to kind of give you a bit of a background. I started my journey recognizing that there was much more to this world. It began as a spiritual realization of many different things, including visual energy and aura and whatnot. As I continued to question more and learn more, I stumbled upon some documentaries of Zeitgeist and David Icke, and started talking with a bunch of different people and finding out a lot of information. Lots of information is almost sometimes difficult to break it down, disseminate, but I ended up reading this book called How I Clobbered Every Bureaucratic Cash Confiscatory Agency Known to Man by Mary Elizabeth Croft. It's a tongue twister a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Then, after I read that, I was prepared to begin to investigate this system of law and see exactly how I can learn how to discharge all the debts, exactly learn how I can travel, learn all these different things, learn how to be free unto oneself, and express that into the system. So then I started to pursue knowledge from the free man on the land movement, right? I went through a process and procedure of the notice, understanding, and intent and claim of right, which I do not advocate to anybody. And it's really only took me the experience to go through that to realize what the flaws are, right? And why it doesn't work, because unfortunately it didn't. So I took my car in '96 Monte Carlo, and I had previously registered it when I was credulous. And then I took that car, and then I proceeded with all this notarized paperwork that are notices, served them through registered mail to the Minister of Transport, Minister of Finance, the Queen. I served them to everybody. I served them to 25 government officials, and the reason I served them to the government officials is because they are the public trustees. So they hold this whole thing, protect the public in trust. And as a trustee, they have an obligation to protect the public. Right? So you can either make your notice public by going to the Gazette, or you can serve the public officials. And I decided to go this route here. It costs a little less fiats. But so I took so I went through this whole long procedure. It was 90 days that I went through. Actually, it was 96 days. 96. I don't know if this number means anything specifically, but I counted it. And I decided to go, once I got all this established, I decided to make custom made plates that were flags on property that I had under claim of right, and then take that car onto the road and travel freely. Okay? Right? And I did this for 2.5 months, right? And I had a camera set up on the dash. I had this traveling portfolio, which had 21 pages of all the certified true copies of all the original documents I used. And I was prepared. I was very prepared. I had a lot of confidence that what I produced and exercised and asserted my rights, because I recognized this principle, which is he who fails to assert his rights has none. So rights are an interesting concept.